All right, and we are good. Hello, everybody. This is Touhou Rock Maiden X it's a race with Redsflame and AsneL, and we have LVCreed here too.
Hello everyone, LVCreed here, also a runner of this game, but looking forward to seeing these two runners showcase what this particular category can do.
Yeah, I am Redsflame. I'm one of the runners for this game. And just a quick background on this game. It released at the start of this year, and all three of us had slowly been working on the game, and we will present to you what we have come up with so far. And with me here is AsneL. He's also one of the other runners for this game, and I think that's situates us for the runners. On if LVCreed want to take it away for the characters and then count us down.
Yeah, y'all can just go to the character selecting, get on the Youmu, selecting all count down, and we continue from there.
Yes.
Alright, so good luck and have fun, players, and we'll be starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, good luck, everyone.
So, as Redsflame has mentioned, this is Touhou Rock Maiden X, my apologies. Game made by the Doujin Circle Capricorn, which is also a stretch of Touhou Rock Maiden games that they have produced over their lifespan, starting with, of course, Rock Maidens 1 through 3. They also had a couple of FC titles which emulate the NES or Famicom versions of Mega Man games, and this newest edition, which is of course Rock Maiden X, which is based on the Mega Man X games and is made in their style. But we're not playing as Youmu, who is the X type. We're actually playing the Zero type, which is Youmu, and you're gonna find that Youmu is pretty special in terms of how you go through the game. If you're familiar with Mega Man X runs, especially those that start Zero, you kind of have an idea of what's about to happen, especially when we get to bosses. But for the time being, we're going to start with Mailing Stage. Mailing Stage is pretty straightforward. You're gonna be just seeing Youmu just do basically what your typical Zero does. Ooh, Redsflame having a little bit of a spell.
Yeah, it slid off there.
But yeah, as I was saying, this is basically typical of your Mega Man X style movement. So you got dash, you got wall cling, and since you're playing at Zero, we will be having our triple slashes, and when we defeat bosses, we get gain techniques rather than a learned weapon like X, or in this case what Youmu would do. So what we're doing here, as you have plainly seen, this is the 100% category. So we're going out of our way to get each and every item that is required to beat this game. So they're gonna get all the heart tanks, all the sake bottles, which acts as our sub tanks, and any other extra utilities and abilities that you get along the way. So having done most of the stage, as you see on AsneL's end, we're actually firing Maiden, and this is where Youmu does her work. Ooh, didn't quite manage the health, wound up getting popped by Maiden's fireball, which does an immense amount of damage. So, because in order to do this fight fast, you're pretty much in a damage race.
Oh.
So you can see on ooh.
I got hit with the last frame of it. That's funny.
Yeah, but as you can see, Youmu just drains bosses' health. As you can see, both our runners are doing a bunch of jump cancels while doing triple slashes, trying to do jump cancels right before the dedicated third slash. And every time you do that, you can see that the health melts. You're gonna see this a lot, and it's pretty much our main means of beating bosses. aside from maybe using some weapons along the way. Meanwhile, the ability we get from Mailing is basically a shock deflect. So whenever Youmu takes a swing of a sword, certain bullets or projectiles will get blocked. And we're gonna try to use that as we go to Quackama stage within the foyer of the Scarlet Devil Mansion library. As you can tell, our 8 quote-unquote Mavericks are all the enemies that you have faced in Touhou 6, the bottom of the Scarlet Devil. So you're pretty much gonna be taking care of each and one of those enemies along the way. So as we continue on, as you can see, a lot of the game is just going to be seeing what you're seeing both our runners doing. It's going to be a lot of dashing, slashing, just trying to optimize movement as quickly as possible to try to get through the stage as quickly as possible. And as you can see on AsneL's side, now we got our second sake bottle, but you notice we're taking a couple of additional deaths because we want to actually be on this particular checkpoint so we can return and we can use this little ride armor here. Once again, one of the staples of the Mega Man X series. But this ride armor is a little special because of the fact that, as you can see on AsneL's screen, as long as you jump and hit and do the punch at the same time, Redsflame is following suit, you get a massive burst of horizontal speed. And this is how you get the heart take in this stage, which normally under most circumstances would have been a very hard heart take to get. Both our runners wound up doing this successfully. And once again, like you said, these intentional deaths to get back to our checkpoint. We're moving on so we can go to Quackama's fight, and hopefully we get a pretty decent kill. We hope to get her without her running across the arena, but it's very hard to get this particular kill, especially when you got all these homing bucks pretty much aimed at you. As you can see, AsneL having Quackama get the little runaround. We're gonna see if Redsflame can do a little one-up. And got that accidental dash as well. This game's kind of a little funky with some of the a little bit with the controls and some of the collisions. Sometimes when you get a dash and land, you get some excess dash momentum and you run into bosses that way. Kind of unfortunate, but as you can see, both our runners just destroyed Quackama, and you basically get the double jump ability. In this game, it's called the Pacifist Strike. But yeah, it's basically your typical double jump you see Zero tend to get from like X4 onwards. And it's pretty much useful for running the rest of the game since, of course, movement is key. Speaking of which, this is why we're going to Cyrano next. As once we go to our 100%, she winds up getting, from this particular stage, as you see Aya, giving us our air dash. So you're gonna see this is gonna be the only thing we get from Aya. This is one of the things that differentiate Reimu 100% and Youmu 100%. Reimu would have to get an extra item in another stage from Ayu to get all the necessary abilities for 100%. Meanwhile, the air dashes you get here is the only item that Youmu is going to be needing to satisfy the 100% conditions as far as extra abilities are concerned. Meanwhile, Cyrano stage being our ice fairy, going through the ice stage with all the ice physics, some little underwater sections as you see Redsflame's going through as we about to go to our Cyrano fight. So once again, we're gonna do our little Zero imitation. We're gonna see, because Cyrano is a pretty RNG boss. And right now, AsneL got a pretty favorable pattern. Cyrano didn't do much movement. We'll see what kind of RNG Redsflames get. You do not want Cyrano running. You definitely kind of want to see like these ice statues, as Cyrano's basically a chill penguin of the game. So she pretty much does chill penguin things. Aside from a little extra personal movement from there. where you get her learned technique, the Icicle Fall, and we're gonna just go a little bit in weakness order as we go to Rumia, which is, as you can see, you go to Armored Armadillo here, with all the Mario carts and so on and so forth. As we actually take a little sidetrack to visit Nazareth. Nazareth, our little mousy friend from Touhou 12, winds up getting us a little gold detection, a little item detector. Once again, another ability that we need to satisfy the 100% requirement. It kind of functions like the item tracer in Mega Man X2 for those that are familiar with that, but otherwise, since our people know where everything is, the item tracer is basically useless. And of course, seeing the chat, yep, all the X1 parallels, you're gonna see AsneL take a little bit of a detour here. Yep, if you know Armored Armadillo, you know what that area looks like, and you know what that means. But we're gonna get to that a little later. But for right now, we're gonna do with the here and now and take care of Rumia. We're gonna see how, yeah, they're gonna do the shot deflect and do our little jump cancels and try to beat Rumia as quickly as possible. From there, we got a good fight on our hands. We should see Redsflame following suit. Got Rumia side. We're gonna see should be a pretty fast quick kill. Yep, doing the jump cancel. Oh yeah, like I said, you want to avoid doing the full triple slash. While the triple slash does extra damage, it also has a long animation, which is why we do jump cancels anyway, to get the fastest amount of DPS. So continuing on, as we get our Moonlight Ray from Rumia, we're not gonna use that quite yet. We're actually gonna take a detour to Sakuya's stage and gonna try to beat her down, because her weapon that you get from her, if you know a lot of the Touhou means, being a little bit of an outsider on the Touhou scene. I do know this one, but of course I'm here for the Mega Man side, which is why I'm here, but that's just beside the point. Ooh, AsneL going for a cheeky damage boost drag, coming on the spikes to get to the top of the area as fast as possible to ignore the elevators. Unfortunately, you gotta ride these elevators. Your dash definitely cannot make that one. But wind up doing the vertical climb, skip that elevator, and just take care of a number of small fares aside, and then we're gonna be dealing with Sakuya, who's gonna be a little bit of a teleport whore. Just gonna continue teleporting. We want to kill her as fast as possible, so she does limited teleports. We hope to one cycle her, but if you get one teleport, that's fine. Anything more than one, you're kind of losing a little bit of time here. Looks like we got a one teleport on AsneL's end, which is very good. We're gonna see how Redsflame take care of Sakuya. In the meanwhile, as Redsflame get to business, of course, we get Zaweldo, which is basically our time freeze. Think time stopper for Mega Man 2, bright stopper for Mega Man 4, or if you follow Mega Man X, the dark code for Mega Man 5, which is probably Mega Man X5, I mean, which is probably more suitable for this kind of reference point. So speaking of, we're gonna be going to Remelia. When we take out the servant, we gotta take out the mistress, where there's gonna be a little bit of some tricky movement. As you can see, we're using our, as on AsneL's in, using the pacifist strike double jump to get some of the vertical movement as quickly as possible, and navigating a lot of these tight corridors, being very careful to not either take too much damage or bonk on your head. There's been many a times where, depending on how you do your movements, you bonk your head and just fall into a pit with little to no recovery. So I expect our runners, especially in a marathon situation, to take some of these very tight corridor safe. Redsflame taking the damage boost to get onto the wall and continue on. Very solid work. Meanwhile, AsneL is making short work of Remilia's stage, about to fight Remilia herself. And this time, yeah, our big bad mistress of the Scarlet Devil Mansion gets stopped by time. And since we got our weapons in tow, we can use our weapons, at least our blade, while time is frozen. We can literally just pick her off while she has no idea what's going on. And to make matters worse, the time freeze also drains her health a la Quick Man from Mega Man 2. So Remilia just gets utterly bodied. And you can see Redsflame's doing the same exact deal. Very solid work between our runners. We get the Demon's Cradle for our efforts, but it's very, very useless. You will not see it in the run, probably except on accident. It kind of acts like a twin dream from X5, where you get a body double, and that body double image does damage. But as you can see, continuing on as we go to Flanders stage, once again, the time freeze, the Zalrodo, gets to work, as it allows you to pretty much go through the entire area and not worry about those guillotines to drop on your way and pretty much just MP progress. Of course, thanks to the nature of some of the enemy spawns, you're gonna wind up having to take some damage boost in order to bypass the entire area. Luckily, the fairies deal very, very little damage, so it's a very fair trade. Once again, along the way, we're still trying to satisfy 100% conditions, getting heart tanks and sake tanks along the way. This being one of the stages for our sake tanks, and this should be our final sake tank for the 100% requirement. There are 4 sake tanks in the game. There was one for Maiden, you saw one in Remilia, you just saw it in Flanders, and I'm trying to remember the last one. Right now, my memory is kind of failing me right now. But regardless of the fact, that is the last one of the 4. Ooh, Flanders, you getting the desperation attack on AsneL's side, trying to perform the quick kill. I'll try to explain the kill on Redsflame then as Redsflame starts to do the strike. So you want to have at least 4 aerial slashes on Flanders before doing a Moonlight Ray, and then get a couple of slashes before getting another Moonlight Ray in. You do not want to get in the situation that AsneL was in, where you get Flanders into critical health and pretty much just becomes completely intangible, and you saw how much time that drained on AsneL's end. So that is a very significant time loss, and definitely if you're doing speed runs, that is an instant reset. But both our runners taking care of Flanders fine, going to our last Scarlet Devil member, and Patchouli. So this stage is pretty straightforward. Under normal circumstances, if we were playing Reimu, this would be our area where she gets her magic power up, kind of like the Buster upgrade for X, which powers up all the weapons that you get. But since we're playing as Youmu, we do not have to worry about that at all. We can just skip that area, so we can just say bye-bye to Aya. She does not exist in this stage, at least in our case. And oh, a little bit of awkward movement on AsneL's end. One up onto the pit, but fortunately the checkpoint was just before the heart tank. And right now this should be most of 100% fulfilled except for one little detail. Redsflame's opting to do the time freeze to make sure that the vertical climb to skip the elevator is as safe as possible. Meanwhile, Patchouli, who's our last Scarlet Devil member, is pretty much repeat the same verse as the first. We're just gonna chop her down with repeated saber slashes and jump cancels. Seeing in chat the split mushroom reference referring to Flanders. The you can say that the Mega Man X symbolism and references are pretty wholly intact in this Dojin game, this Touhou Fangame, which is pretty solid because I have played a number of Capricorn games and their quality kind of wavers, but I'll leave it at that. But of course, that's for all you to decide to play if these games interest you. So once again, you've seen this stage before. You saw that little area that both Redsflame and AsneL went to. So yeah, in typical Mega Man X fashion, X1 in particular, we're gonna be doing our our Armadillo revisits, and we're gonna get the Hado. And yes, this is not Reimu exclusive. Youmu will be getting the Hado as well. So our sword character, Suck It Zero, we're going to be able to get our Hado, and as you expect, the Hado will pretty much instant kill any boss that it touches as long as you have full energy. But of course, before we do that, we gotta do the death loops. So as we continue on, just about a little bit of history of the speedrun of the game. Right now, the fastest time, at least for Youmu 100%, is by me with a 27.5x, while most of the records on the game for the other categories, which is range from Youmu Any and both Reimu Any and 100%, are by AsneL. So AsneL is one of the stronger runners of the game, but Redsflame is no slouch, especially playing as Youmu, being a strong runner there. Of course, since we're the three runners, we're all strong. We'll just leave it at that. But regardless of the situation, we got both our runners finishing off the Armadillo revisits. This should be our last one. If not, there may be one more remaining. You need to visit the area 5 times in total. The 5th time, we'll see Nazrin, who gave us our item tracer in this stage a little while earlier, will make a return. It will give us our Hado. And there's Hado cleared for AsneL. And Hado cleared for Redsflame's. 100% is secured. In a very close race, might I add. Just about a handful of seconds, pretty much separating our two runners, at least from where I'm seeing. As we go to the Moria Shrine, as you know, it was notorious that it was sent to pretty much demolish Reimu's shrine. So we're going to the Moria Mansion to see what is up with what's going on over here. So we're starting here with seeing our time stop to make sure that our enemies are pretty much at bay, but we gotta remember we still have Hado. We want to keep our health in top condition as much as possible. So our time slow is definitely the best way to do it, but some of our enemies are definitely in positions where taking damage is gonna be a little bit more likely. Right now, it looks like Redsflame definitely had the cleanest run, while AsneL has to take a little bit of the sake drinky to set up the health required to get the Hado on Notori here. 1 Notori down, 2 Notori down. The power of Hado at work. Once again, props to both our runners. Be sure to follow them on Twitch, as you get not only some good Touhou action from both our runners, but also some good general video gaming as a whole. As we go to Moria Shrine 2 in the underground. I'm pretty sure people who are familiar with the Touhou music can recognize this remix. You can probably take a good guess of which boss is going to be appearing next. Regardless of the matter, both of our runners, once again, keeping in mind that we want to Hado our bosses as much as possible, so we don't want to doing the long way of being our bosses. Once again, it seems like AsneL's gonna have to take a little bit of a sake drink, with Redsflame's having a little bit of a cleaner stage. So it looks like it's gonna be a bit of an execution race between our runners, especially in regards to how our runners do health management. Yep, and there we go. The health management wound up putting Redsflame should be ahead, if what I'm seeing is correct. So a little bit of change under the guard because the health management wound up going against AsneL for a bit. As we go to Moria 3 on the rooftops of these, I want to say houses, shrines, whatever they may be, whatever case may be, we've seen a little bit of strat deviation here. AsneL's doing the Zalrodo strats to make sure that the enemies aren't being too much of a pain. Meanwhile, Redsflame is just going gung-ho, just taking whatever enemies that are going to be along the way and kind of suffering for it. Lacking a little bit of execution, getting AsneL right back in the lead, but only just the slightest bit of a lead. So it's just a little bit of a horizontal stretch. Really not too much to talk about here. They could go for health strats, but considering the boss that is coming up, they're probably just gonna go completely sword on and just go for it. Because this Oni mask, this Hanya mask, which for, once again, you Mega Man reference fans, you're gonna know Rangabanga. And Rangabanga is a very RNG boss. And right now, worst case scenario, both getting red eyes, while it looks like the walls close in on AsneL, while you get green eyes on the RNG not being kind to AsneL, gonna have to do this boss again. Meanwhile, Redsflame just need a little bit there. What took so long? You want blue eyes. Blue eyes gives you the best chance to defeat your bosses, but RNG was very unkind to AsneL, and honestly was kind of unkind to Redsflame, pretty much just waiting to the last moment for a blue eye to even appear. But as AsneL trying to finish things off, as by usual Mega Man tradition, and any and all Fangames that got to adhere to it, we got our boss rush, which, since we got our 100% conditions and our Hado, it's just gonna be a Hado rush. So all we're doing is just gonna Hado each and every single Scarlet Devil Mansion member. There are a couple of bosses that could be troublesome, Shirno being one of them if she jumps. And she did right there. I do not claim commentary curse. I claim commentary coincidences. But regardless of the matter, that would have been a little bit of a time loss, but fortunately you do have enough time to dash away and go for a second Hado. Meanwhile, under normal circumstances, Remelia, if you go kind of like for high level runs, you would try to go for a raw Hado, but especially under marathon conditions, using the world and then immediately go for a Hado, definitely a good strat to do, especially under marathon conditions. So for right now, it seems like our runners are both in the boss rush. Redsflame is on the 4th. I want to say AsneL is on the 2nd at the very least, maybe on the 3rd. You want to talk about lore in a game like this? They were just given a second chance. Spoilers, the main antagonist of the game literally says it gave them a second chance, which is why the refights are happening. AsneL going for the wrong Hado, fortunately getting a good pattern from Remelia. Remelia has 3 potential patterns she can do. she can either fire her Vampire's Night Bats or go for the Flame Stag dash, as you saw on the screen on that side. Otherwise, she would have done a vertical wall cling, as she is the Flame Stag of the game, and you would have to do a near frame perfect Hado to get that kill. But regardless of the matter, it looks like 2 more for Red Flames, look like 3 more for AsneL. So probably Scarlet Devil Mansion boss behind each other. Mainly get pretty much as a joke as always. Just a little bit of a keynote because of Youmu's small size. The first attack that Maiden does immediately jumps over her head, so you get a free Hado shot. As Remy, you have to dodge because she's a little taller. So Youmu definitely gets the better portion of that refight deal. Alright, that is all 8 Scarlet Devil members done on the refight end. You got Kawakama only on AsneL's end. Once that fight's done, you're gonna be on to the final stage as Red Flames is on now. And you get to see who is the mastermind behind this entire fiasco. Wisely taking the sake tank as you took the hit before getting to the boss. And oh hey, it's the other Shrine Maiden. Yep, Sanai, whichever anyone would like to call. Of course, I'll take any pronunciation corrections aside. She still gets one down by Hado just like everyone else. And of course, time is on the final hit of this Moria machine, whatever this contraption may be. And time on Red Flame's end. Oh, it looks like it's gonna have to be the long way for AsneL because he has no sake tanks to continue to do the fight. So this would be how you fight in any percent circumstances. It's the same as the rest. You're pretty much gonna do jump blade cancels and just mash her down. You're gonna see how you're gonna take care of this fight. It looks like you're gonna do some jump slashes. You can also use Icicle Fall in rapid succession to deal immense damage and do that loop. But right now, AsneL is just going for jump slashes. And of course, time's gonna be on the final hit. And Stream Froze Zombie on the final hit, but that should be time. So GG's to both our runners. Red Flames and AsneL doing terrific work on the game. Pretty much showcasing what Youmu can do in max circumstances. Pretty much just buzzsawing through everything in this game. So that was pretty much Touhou Rock Maiden X, the Youmu 100% run. LVCreed on commentary. Red Flames, if you still on mic'd up, you got anything to say before heading out?
Yes, so you might have noticed anyone in chat might have noticed the credits rolling up through. So that's but personally, I'd like to give a special shout out not only to LVCreed here as well as AsneL for being the runners of Rock Maiden X and helping move along the speedrun. But what I'd like to talk about here is the credits that you'll see rolling up on screen. I don't know if they're still showing up on my end or maybe on AsneL's screen, but some of the credits there you'll see for not only the people, the circle behind the game, but a special mention to Hakanai Blue, who happens to be the English translator for the Rock Maiden series, who started actually in the first game. He had managed to get a hold of the devs, and they gave the green light on allowing him to bring just patch fan-made translations by him into the game series. So currently the games are only available on the L site for the meantime. I don't know if maybe in the future that might be ported over to Steam, but we have English translations for this game now with courtesy of Hakanai Blue and his hard work. And other people you see mentioned there are people who have helped out. Just special mentions to helping him out on his Patreon for just helping Hakanai Blue out. And you'll see 1-2 people there that people might know. It's good friends of mine, Nato and Bahi channel. So, and yeah, I think the devs should also be in chat too. So to him, what's got some other stuff? I would say just thank you for Rock Maiden and whatnot. But
and before you go, I'm pretty sure y'all probably want to advertise, because I know you have at least a couple of more runs that you're going to be doing on this marathon. You want to promote those before you head out?
Oh well, yeah. So I guess I won't have anything for my next runs. Are actually going to be on Friday early morning for me. I was CST like 5 in the morning, and it's a very, very special game. Gensokyo Night Festival. It's what I'm going to be doing is a beta showcase of that game. It's only currently up to chapter 2 for the meantime, but before the last update the dev gave us was a special beta, a special chapter 3 in the form of a beta. So not many people know about it because it hasn't been updated in quite a while, and you could say it kind of, in a way, came out in secret, but it's a beautiful run, as well as another race with Shinsa, Nato, and I on Gensokyo Rolling Force. Same day, tomorrow. Friday, excuse me. Friday evening.
And on AsneL's behalf, our Japanese runner of this game is also going to be doing Rockman World Plus, at least on my end, is on a Saturday evening. And I will be returning on commentary for that. So if you're tired of my voice, you're gonna have to endure it one more time. But it's gonna be a fun time while doing that run as well. So be sure to take a good look out for both these runners' runs as the Fangame Marathon continues on. And on behalf of Redsflame and AsneL, we'll turn it back to our presenters and get the next run going.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming out. That was a really good race. Like, you guys were neck and neck the whole way through. That was awesome. And the commentary was really entertaining. So thank you, all 3 of you, for coming out.
Oh, thanks for having us and giving us a chance to show the run.
Indeed.
Yeah. I look forward to the rest of your runs.